Hey y'all, Brandon Renus here. Hope you're doing absolutely amazing. Kind of doing this from my bed here at the moment. I've got a hyperextended knee and it's been bothering me a little bit, and so that's what you're getting. As you can tell, I really organized and cleaned my room well. You can still see fingerprints on the window behind me and my trusty Glock. It's a good gun. Highly recommend it. Alright, but that's really not what we're getting into. This is not some gun show, and I almost feel bad for putting this on camera. I feel like a lot of people do that like a dick measuring contest, and that was not my goal, so I apologize. I guess I was just trying to get out of the screen. I kind of want to talk today about our mindset. So the definition of insanity is to repeat the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. Okay? So we don't want to do that, right? So when we promote solutions, when we come up with ideas on how to fix things, we need to fix things in a way that isn't more of what created the problem. Otherwise, we're literally promoting insanity by saying that will fix it. It'd be kind of like saying, well, 2 plus 3 didn't equal 4 this time, so let's keep adding 2 plus 3 and maybe it'll equal 4. It just doesn't make sense. You don't keep giving someone the wrong treatment if it's not fixing them. It's, you just go, hey, you know what? If I break his left arm, it didn't fix his right arm, so maybe we shouldn't break his leg. Maybe we should actually come up with a different strategy here. So I kind of want to go over some of the different government programs that we've had go on, and I want you to think about your solutions and whether you like the program or not. I just want you to listen to these, because what I'm going to be talking about is factual. That's what's scary. And so a lot of us have different solutions. Well, we need more government oversight. We need more government regulation. We need more this, more that. And I want you to listen to the different programs I'm going to list and kind of go through your head and say, maybe we should try a different strategy. Because that's kind of the conclusion I've come to. So we'll start with the Affordable Care Act. It's a great government program that was made to create cheaper insurance for everyone. And it would allow everyone to get covered. Well, instead of prices going down, they went up. Okay? Now the first year, of course, they were like, hey, really good. They didn't go up as fast as everyone else. But of course, the second year, not so much. In fact, they went sky high. They doubled. They went up way higher. In some situations, premiums went up over 100%. Ponder that. Great program. So the ACA hasn't turned out to be quite the government program that it was planned out to be. In fact, it was so bad that the only way that they can get people on it is by forcing them to pay a $1,000 fine if you don't get on it. Great idea, genius, but not exactly the best idea when it comes to promoting how great your product is. Hey, if you don't take this program, we're going to put a gun to your head and take $1,000 from your pocket. You should get on this program. Pretty stupid, but hey, great government program, right? All right, so let's go with the Patriot Act. Patriot Act was a great program. George W. Bush said, hey, the Constitution, who needs the Constitution? We can stop and frisk anybody we want. We can grope you, touch you, grab your boobs, grab your crotch, grab whatever we want to do. We can do whatever we want to your body. We can spy on you. We can listen to your phones. We can tap your emails. We can do all that spying. No, who cares about the Constitution? A lawful search and seizure? Who gives a rip about that? Pretty much, the Patriot Act is about the most unpatriotic bill you could possibly find or pass. But it was passed. That's another government program that doesn't seem to be hitting on all cylinders. That's just me, though. Maybe you like the minimum wage. You see, the minimum wage is something that was supposed to help the people getting jobs to make more money. A living wage or a better scenario, or so that way you could have more money. So that way you could buy more things and it would fix the economy. This is the typical argument. So we can look at the minimum wage and see how the results are. Well, since the minimum wage was enacted, youth unemployment has only gone up. So if we're trying to help the poor and the needy, those to get jobs, and they have less jobs, is that helping them? In fact, I think the minimum wage should be called the Government Enforced Discrimination Act. That would be an accurate description, because the minimum wage forces employers like myself to not be able to hire people. It says, hey, unless that person's worth whatever the minimum wage is at, we'll say it's $10. Unless that person is worth $10 an hour, you're not allowed to hire them. Or you're supposed to only give them charity. Well, you see, business owners, we stay in business by actually profiting. So when I hire someone, if I pay $10 an hour to them, I have to be able to make $10.10 off the person. Otherwise, I don't hire them. Now, granted, it's not $10.10. You can add about $15. It's pretty much about $15 an hour is what I would have to pay them. When you talk about all the insurance, all the Social Security, all the rules, all the regulations I have to pay per employee, it's about $15 an hour. So now that kid that was supposed to only be worth $10 an hour has to be worth more than $15 an hour. Actually, it has to be more than $15 an hour because I have to profit. Well, you have to have some skills. So who does this discriminate against? Well, it discriminates against minorities the most. But who cares about minorities? We're all for discrimination as long as it's a minority. Oh, wait a minute. That's something we're trying to fight. But don't worry, the minimum wage, we'll keep discriminating. Yeah! Such a great government program. But don't worry, I'm sure we'll find some good government programs that are helping lots of people. Oh, my next one on the list is No Child Left Behind. Yes, this was a great government program that was supposed to help the grades and help the public schools, and we were going to be able to help all children. Yes, what a great idea. It should have been called All Children Left Behind, though. Yeah, when you start dumbing down the system and making it so that way your standards are lower, yet you're not helping children, you're hurting children. When you start making it so that way everyone has to reach certain benchmarks instead of teaching each kid to their own potential, it turns into, hey, we just have to hit this benchmark, and the smart kids, you're doomed. You're not going to get any extra learning. You're not going to be able to get your limits pushed, and you're going to be, stuck in your little rut because we got to keep pushing. No Child Left Behind. What a great program. So now we have All Children Left Behind. Yay! In the name of equality, we have made everybody equally pathetic. Yeah! Great government program there. So happy about that one. I apologize, I'm looking down, but there's way too many things to remember, so I have to look at my little list. War on Poverty. Oh, this has been a really good program. It's a program that they started and they said, we have too much poverty in our country. Now, poverty is going down every single year. Yeah, it was. But you know what we need to do? We need to make it go down faster. So I'm going to stop it. I believe it was Lyndon B. Johnson, but that's just off the top of my head. I could be wrong. So Lyndon B. Johnson will say, if I'm wrong, please correct me, whatever. Says, I'm going to start the war on poverty. We're going to get people out of poverty. Yeah! We're going to spend millions and millions and millions of dollars, and I'm sure those in poverty will vote for me. I'm not buying votes, though. I'm just trying to help those in poverty. Except if we look at the poverty, since the war on poverty started, they didn't go down. It actually has gone up. But don't worry, guys. All those people getting all the benefits, receiving all the millions of dollars from the war on poverty, those people will keep voting for the politicians who keep those policies enacted. But it's not helping those in poverty. In fact, it's enabling. But don't worry, guys. It's no big deal. It buys votes for those politicians. Who cares? We get more in poverty, we hurt our country overall, but those politicians keep getting elected over and over again. War on poverty's been great if you like to buy votes. Let's go to the drug war. One of my favorites. So you have the drug war. So what we need to do is we need to stop people from doing what they want to their own body, because this is a free country and you're not allowed to have freedom unless it's the freedom that we approve of. Now this is coming from someone who does not drink, smoke, chew, I don't even swear. So I'm pretty clean cut, without the clean cut. I don't do any of those things, but that doesn't mean that I am willing to take those rights away from you. Let's see if we can turn this a little bit. So, the drug war says, no, we have a free country that you're not allowed to do that. Actually, you're not allowed to smoke weed. We're going to rip you from your family, and we're going to throw you in prison. Woohoo! Don't worry, guys. We've thrown more people in prison from the drug war than the Iraq war has killed, than the Afghanistan war has killed, than the North Korea war has killed, combined. That's all good though, guys. They're only taking tax dollars in the prisons for doing no violent crimes, for doing something to themselves, or selling something to someone else who willingly was buying it. No one was being forced to do anything. But don't worry, now their children are growing up with a parent, so they now are coming from a single-parent home, which is already statistically proven to be disastrous for children. But don't worry, guys, the drug war is really well worth it. We are going to take away their freedoms because we have a free country and we only promote the freedoms that we believe in. Everybody else, screw you. Yay! I hope you guys know I love the drug war. It's such a great program. Anyway, is anybody recognizing a trend here? Because these are all major programs that they don't seem to be helping at all. In fact, we can look at the drug war and has it stopped drugs from coming in our country? I don't think so, actually. I was just doing the math here, and since we started getting all that opium in Afghanistan, and since they're the leading opium dealer, oh shoot, drugs have risen sky high. Drug use has risen sky high in America. Good thing it's illegal, though. Whew. Good thing. And good thing we're stopping people from actually getting medical care because weed's illegal. Yeah. Good thing that that guy's over there having a seizure biting his tongue off because he's not allowed to get some weed. Seems perfectly logical to me. I don't know about you guys, but yeah, you know, who cares for him? I don't smoke weed, so therefore he shouldn't be allowed to smoke weed. You know, America, land of the free, as long as they're my freedoms. Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. Oh, this is another dandy program. So this is a typical program. Again, when you look at programs, you can't look at what they're supposed to do. You have to look at the results. For example, if a gentleman comes to your house and you want him to remodel your room and make it nicer, but he burns the house down, and he says to the next person, hey, I'll help you remodel your house, and he burns that house down, you can't look at that guy and go, you know what? He has good intentions. He's really trying to remodel the houses. I'm going to go and hire him to remodel my house. It's really going to work this time, because that's the definition of insanity. So when we look at the programs, we can't say, oh, well, the goal was to help the poor and the middle class, and that makes me feel better about things. I feel like I'm slouching, but I think it's just the way, I think that's what it is. Ha. So Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac is a perfect example of this. Well, politicians, they need votes. And we always need to help the poor, and we always need to help the middle class. So what do? I got an idea. People are not buying enough houses. So what we're going to do is we're going to tell banks to hand out more loans to the poor and the middle class. That's a great idea. So we go up to the bank. Hey, bank, you know what you need to do is you need to hand out more loans to the poor and the middle class. And the bank says, you know what? You're nuts. You see, what we're good at is we're good at making money. And if we hand out too many loans to the poor and the middle class, we already know what the percentage is of those who cannot afford to pay the loan. So we'll go bankrupt. And when our job is to stay in business, so we wouldn't do that. And the politicians go, oh, shoot, that's a real problem. You know what we're going to do? We'll fix the whole problem. What we're going to do is we're going to guarantee those loans. So that way, if that poor person or that middle class person can't afford to pay the loan, the government will take over. That way, the banks will give out the loans. Great idea. Yeah. Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. We're really an awesome program. So what happens? Well, the bank says, hey, if this loan is guaranteed, that's even better than giving the loan to someone with really good credit. You know why? Because it's guaranteed. Even a person with insanely good credit could lose their job, could have really bad luck, have all these medical bills. You know, something bad could happen. A person with a guaranteed loan, shoot, I'm going to hand out as many of these as possible. We're going to make money. So the banks start handing out money. And they start handing out loans to all these people, the poor and the middle class. Don't worry, guys, the politicians got lots of votes for that one. Yep, the poor and the middle class, they're going to keep voting for all the politicians that supported those programs. But you know what happens? When all these people start buying houses, all of a sudden there's not enough houses on the market, so it creates a bubble. Prices go up! So now the poor and the middle class who couldn't afford the home in the first place now really can't afford a home because the prices are going up. But don't worry, guys, everything's going to go great. Now people see the prices of houses going up, they refinance now, they have more money to spend. We're in an economic boom! Life is good! And the whole system crashes. And guess who it hurts the most? Well, the rich got bailed out because those loans were guaranteed. So the poor and the middle class, they're the ones that get screwed. Again, we can look at the program and we have to look at the results. The results are the poor and the middle class got screwed, the rich got richer or did just fine. Yay! Another winning government program, all in the name of helping the poor. Federally backed and guaranteed student loans. Oh, this is such a good program. I'm sure this has nothing to do with Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. We shouldn't learn from that at all. No. What we should do is we go, we're a politician. What do? We need to help the poor and the middle class again. We need to help more people. Now, we don't have a very good track record. In fact, we have a horrible track record. But, don't worry about that. What we need to do is we need to give more loans to more students. That's a really good idea. And so what we should do is we should guarantee the loans and we should get in the loan business. Because there's not enough loans given by private people because those private people, they're really evil and they go, you know what, that person probably won't be able to pay it back because they're taking women's studies and you can't make money from that. So they're not going to give a loan out to that person. So what we'll do as government is we'll get in the loan business. We'll hand them out like candy. Oh, you know what that means though? Shoot, it's kind of like that housing situation. When you hand it out and you guarantee it, the prices go up. So now instead of the colleges having to compete over who has the cheapest prices, we have guaranteed loans from the government. So the colleges can charge any price they want because they're already guaranteed the loan. Yay! Oh, but because they have now way more students and because the IQ level has dropped drastically because we're letting anybody into the college, the education goes down. So the price goes up, the education level goes down, and these kids get to graduate. Some of them, actually a lot of them don't graduate, but they get to graduate, we'll say best case scenario, with even more debt and oftentimes even more useless degrees. Thank you, government. It's really a good thing you got involved in the student loans. Yes, I'm so thankful you're helping screw over another generation. Go America, go government. You know, I'm sure the next government program we go over is going to be much better though. Maybe. I mean, we do have a bad trend, but hey, don't worry about that. Oh, the FDIC. Yes, this is a good program. We have to respect this one. See, the government said we need to help the poor and the middle class again. That's a great idea. What we need to do is we need to guarantee banks, because what would happen is the poor and the middle class, every now and then, they would put their money in an unsafe bank that would go bankrupt. And then they would lose their money. And so the government says we need to protect the poor and the middle class. We need to guarantee the people's money is safe. We don't need to have them actually study the banks. You know, kind of like when you go to a TV place and you go, you know, which TV am I going to get? Am I going to get the quality one or the crappy one? Well, if I get the crappy one, I have better odds of it breaking down, but I'm willing to do it because I'm not putting much money into it. You know, that's the choices you get to make. Well, back in the day, you actually got to do that with banks. You got to choose, well, this one's more safe. They have a better safe record. This one isn't so safe. This one's making good investments. This one's not. You got to make those same decisions for yourself. But no. The government needs to protect you. So they created the FDIC. We will back and cover the money that you put in the bank. Great job. They really did a great job. You can see that we've actually, any bank that's been robbed, any time the bank's gone under, the government has bailed them out. The government has helped. The government has always given you your money. Life is good. There's only one slight problem. Since the FDIC was created, you've lost 90% of your money. So in other words, if you had $100 that you put in the bank back then, it would be worth a whopping $10 right now. So you got robbed. So the government that put the program into place to protect you from getting robbed, robbed you. Genius. Really good idea. I'm so happy the government was there to protect the poor and the middle class, because if there's one group of people that can really handle the dollar devaluing, it is definitely the poor and the middle class, because they have they don't have very much to waste at all. In fact, that would be the rich people that benefit from it because they have less competition. Shoot! So the government's helping the rich again. Weird. Don't worry though, I'm sure we'll find a program where the government is actually helping the poor and the middle class. It's got to be in here somewhere. The Federal Reserve. This has got to be it. It has to be the Federal Reserve. So the Federal Reserve was appointed in 1913. Really good program. You know what we got to do is we need to protect the banks. Yeah, we need to control interest rates so that way we don't have any recessions. Oh, actually, we've had quite a few recessions. That's weird how that hasn't helped. Oh, actually, we just had the second worst recession in the history of our country that the Fed was supposed to protect us against. Is it just me, or does that not make sense? Oh, don't worry, the rich got no, they didn't get screwed. It was the poor that got screwed in this recession too. What has the Fed? Oh, you know, at least they helped lower interest rates so that way, they created that housing bubble that screwed the poor and the middle class. Yeah, I guess they didn't help the poor there. You know, but at least they have low interest rates so that way, you don't make any money on your money in the bank. Yeah, so that's not good either. But hey, at least they have low interest rates so that way you can get you can't get a cheap loan because interest rates are so low they would rather invest it themselves. So your small business, yeah, I'm sorry, you don't get your money because the interest rates are too low and it's not worth giving the money to you because they'd rather invest it themselves, you know. Well, you know, the Fed's good. Oh, we're not going to talk about the devaluation of the dollar. No, how much money that they printed. We're not going to talk about how they can counterfeit legally, where you would go to prison if you did that. Nope. The Fed's really good. It's really a good company. It's a really good group. Yep, it's private. You know, it's not really involved with the government. Really low interest rates. They're really confident in our economy, even though they're so scared to death to raise interest rates. You know, I'm so happy we have the Fed. Good thing. It's really helped protect the rich. Social Security. Oh, yes, this is a program that can't fail. Oh, it's going to protect the poor and the middle class. I see a trend. Yes, yes, yes. Protect the poor, protect the middle class, protect the poor, protect the middle class. This one's going to do it for sure. I'm confident. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take people's money from them by force. We're going to tell them, hey, you don't have a choice, but this is for your own good. What we're going to do is we're going to guarantee that when you retire, you can have this money. But the problem is that it's not gonna work because it's not gonna be enough for you to retire. But don't worry, what we'll do is we'll tax the next generation. So while they're working, we'll take their money. It's kind of like actually, it's very similar to a Ponzi scheme, except a Ponzi scheme, you get to do it by choice. Social Security, you are forced into it. So it's guaranteed to fail, kind of like a Ponzi scheme, but you don't have a choice, but you're forced to be in it. Yay! Don't worry, though, that same government who's going to protect the poor and the middle class, they're going to rob from Social Security to help it go bankrupt even quicker. But it's all good, because those same politicians, they know that all the people who need Social Security, they'll still vote for them. So they have all these votes bought. And people like myself who get to pay into it our whole lifetimes, we're screwed. But don't worry, that politician has all those votes from every single person using Social Security, so it doesn't matter that people like me never get to benefit from it, because that same politician is guaranteed to get reelected over and over and over. Yay! Even though he's screwing over the poor and the middle class. Oh, but you know, we can look at how great Social Security is. We can talk about, all the people it's benefited. That's cool, it has. It's very, very true. It'd be kind of like looking at a Ponzi scheme and saying, hey, look at all the people it's benefited. Yeah, it's true. Benefited the top 1%. Weird how that works out. So the first 1% that get to go into Social Security do really well. Then the next 5%, they get to do pretty well. Then the top 10%, they get to do really well. Guess what? The Social Security has been going on for a while now, and now we're at like the top 20 or 30%. People like my grandparents who paid into it their whole lives. But don't worry, Social Security is paying out to both of them, and it's barely enough to afford their property taxes, their food, and their basic utilities. But, it's just because the U.S. dollar is getting destroyed because the U.S. is printing a bunch thanks to the Fed. But don't worry, guys. It's only going to help the poor and the middle class, except it's screwing them because they were told they were guaranteed retirement, and now they're too old to work, and they're out of money. Good thing we have Social Security to help them, though. Oh, wait a minute, we don't. If they live another 5 years, that money's not going to be worth enough to even pay for the property taxes, even though they own everything free and clear. But hey, they only did everything right. They paid into it their whole lives. They worked their tail off for 50, 60 years. They did everything right. Screw them. And as for people like myself, I don't deserve it. Shoot. What we should do is we should just screw people over like me, take my money my entire life, and give it to those on Social Security. And then I don't get anything. But they still get their votes. I get screwed, and it's less opportunity for me to start my own businesses, things like that, because that percentage is always coming out of my check. Yay! And the government's always helping the poor and the middle class. They're doing such a great job. So my question to you is, are you insane? It's a fair question. Let's say you're promoting single-payer healthcare. Are you going, man, I really want single-payer healthcare. I sure hope we get it. Do you really think that another government program is going to be the cure this time? The military-industrial complex, that's a really good idea. In fact, that's very similar to single-payer. Colossal amount of waste. Colossal amount of spending. It's a monopoly, though. Very similar to single-payer. At what point do you go, you know what? These programs sound good, but they hurt the poor. They hurt the middle class. And I'm starting to catch on. Our country is $20 trillion in debt. The last two presidents have doubled the national debt. If you think that they can figure out a government program that can help the poor and the middle class, yet you have president after president doubling the national debt, you might be living in a fantasy world. Our country has $150 trillion in unfunded liabilities. Do you know what an unfunded liability is? It would be like you are guaranteed, you are forced, you have to pay for a house, but you have no way of paying for it. In other words, you don't have the money coming in. It's unfunded. It's a liability. You know you have to pay for it, but you have no way of coming up with the money. So those same people that have screwed up all of those programs, they're all of a sudden going to fix a program or create a program that's actually going to work? At what point do you go, huh, I think I'm missing it. I think I'm promoting insanity. Because there's Republicans and Democrats doing the same thing. A bunch of people are all going to be excited. Donald Trump's in office. Woohoo! He's going to fix everything. Let's say he does, which isn't going to happen. But let's say he does. We're going to have more inept politicians right after him who want to steal from programs, who want to create programs to buy more votes and to take more votes from people like you and I who will vote for them as long as we are receiving the money from some other person. Almost all of these programs I'm talking about are forcefully redistributing wealth. They're saying that you deserve your neighbor's money more than he does. But you will take it and you will vote for your politician. Because, man, he gave you that welfare check. He gave you those food stamps. He gave you that house. He helped you with Cash for Clunkers. Cash for Clunkers was a program I didn't even go over. I could have. Should have. Are you insane? Are you promoting insanity? If your answer is more government, question yourself. Tell me why. It's Brandon Arenas. That's all I got. If you guys want more videos like this, please hit subscribe, then hit the notification button. If you guys hate this video, give me a thumbs down. Tell me why. Be like, bro, you're screwing up. This is all your factual evidence that you have wrong. If you love this video, give me a thumbs up. I truly appreciate it. You guys have a wonderful day. Peace out.